What is up, guys? Welcome to the Dude Comedy Podcast, episode 77. We do not have Burns today. Well, we replaced him. We replaced him with somebody with multiple personalities. We actually have, well, Kyle's here, Colby's here, and then we have Steve, and we have Tony Baloney. So, yeah.
How did I become Tony? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I don't
You just seemed like a Tony to me, man.
All right, I'll take it.
I'm rolling with it.
You know what? My whole life I wanted to be cooler than a Steve. So
Tony sounds way cooler than Steve. I'm just saying. He really, especially
I know
Tony
so many
Baloney.
Steves and Tonys. I don't even know why. We should have gave you a better name.
Do you
but
really?
Fuck it.
You know, hold on. You know multiple Steves and Tonys?
Yeah, I know. I know two Tonys that were married, a guy and a girl Tony. And then we just called them the Tonys.
that is like if I ever met like a gorgeous, amazing woman named like Stephanie, but everybody called her Steve, I would just be like, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
I mean, I don't think I could date a girl Tony.
I couldn't even date someone with my mom's name, let alone my own
That's
name.
what I was going to say, yeah. Exactly.
It's funny, but the guy Tony's actually a crackhead, so they're not together anymore, so they're separated Tonys.
So she's single.
Yeah, he's fucking.
So what you're saying, there's an available Tony.
Yeah, there's an available Tony for our puzzle.
They're not. I mean, Tony, I believe I think they're both in their 40s, and he works with my mom, which is kind of funky because everybody knows he's a crackhead, but apparently he's good at talking his way out of things. But so we pull up to this family company picnic at my mom's work. And it's like in this big open field and stuff. And some dude is doing fucking Brodies in his fucking lifted truck before he even got there. Like no drinks or anything had been served yet. And some dude's doing fucking Brodies. I'm like, what is this dude doing? And he fucking stops and jumps out of his truck. And it was crackhead Tony.
Can I be a nerd for a second and ask what a Brody is other than like some other guy?
I'm assuming it's like drugs. I don't know what it is either.
I
like
figured
in
it
a
was
truck?
either drugs or it was like multiple guys named Brody.
He's doing it.
I like that.
No, he's doing fucking donuts in his truck. Brodies.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
I guess that's what people call it where I'm
By the
from,
way, so I speaking of not knowing what drugs are, so I'm not like I've never done any drugs. I'm too much of I have too much of an addictive personality. Like I tried coffee for the first time, and within like 3 weeks, I owned a Keurig.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like and that's why I just can't. I know myself well enough to know that bad idea. So anyway, I do a show, and sorry if this story is a little bit long, but I do a show in Atlanta.
Oh, you're good.
This woman comes over to me after the show. She's kind of hot. We're talking, find out she's a former stripper. I'm like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
She seems really interested in me. She hasn't even seen the show, which is super weird because like she just likes talking to me, not like the guy who was on stage. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So anyway, she's hanging out, and it turns out she's with some like older rich dude that they're like not married, but they've been living together for a long time. And I'm like, okay, well, she just seems interesting to hang out with. A bunch of us are hanging out. So we go to the next bar, but he has a 2-seater car, and he's like, oh, we'll give you a ride. I was like, how? So they have me sit in the passenger seat, and she sits on my lap.
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
all right, this is getting interesting, right? This is getting real interesting. And she's kind of like moving herself around a little too. I'm like, okay, this is a bit bizarre. So we go to the bar, we're hanging out more, and then we decide, everybody's like, okay, well, let's all go back to the hotel where the comics are staying. And so everybody's going to go back, and then one by one, everybody's like, I'm a little tired, forget about it, I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm like, okay, fine. And at that point, someone else had given me a ride back to the hotel. I get out of, onto my floor. I was on a different floor than the other guys. So I get out onto my floor, the door's open, and the stripper and her dude are there. So I'm like, all right, this is weird.
It's getting a little iffy.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, so they're the only ones who still came back. So I told them, I was like, hey, it's, no one's really hanging out. And they're like, that's okay, we'll just hang out. I was like, all right. So they come in, and then the dude, uses the bathroom, and then she starts making out with me immediately. So I'm just like...
You're getting robbed. Robbed.
Well, that's why I was like...
I don't think it's robbed. I think he's the old dude is wanting to watch.
Yeah, that's what I think it was, too, because he had way nicer stuff. I was in a hotel with nothing. What are they going to take? Like, my like my camp staff T-shirt that I had. Like this was early in my career. I had nothing. So I'm just like, oh no, don't take my broken phone. So then, so he comes out and we're just all like kind of sitting on the bed hanging out. And I was like, all right, I think like the second worst thing would be like if I make a move on her and like he wants to beat me up. But the worst thing is if I make a move on her and he wants to join it. I'm not.
Oh,
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, I'm not down with this at all. So it's at this point, it's like 5 a.m. and I was like, hey, it's getting kind of late. I think I'm just going to call it a night. And then she goes, okay, but would you mind if I do a bump in your bathroom first? And I'm so like not, I'm pretty sure that's drugs, but I don't know what it means really. So
like,
I was just like, yeah, I wasn't just going to be like, could you explain what a bump is first? So I just was like, yeah, sure, but could you just clean up after, please? Like that's literally what I said. I asked her to clean up after her bump. And so then she
bumped and they rolled on their way?
So she bumped and then he bumped and she made out with me a little bit more while he was bumping. And then they left and it was just one of these moments.
Respectful enough to ask your permission.
Yeah, she was just like, I thought that was like a really nice druggy stripper thing to do.
Yeah, especially cool. I was gonna say, way to like go above and beyond the call of a stripper, like just breaking social norms there.
Well,
yeah, they
former
didn't
stripper.
Ask to pay or anything. I feel like I thought like something was coming. Like, all right, that was $25 for that makeout session.
Yeah, no.
I would be fucking iffed out as shit.
And she found me on Facebook years later. So like, yeah, it's very possible she's listening to this right now. So what's up, Paula? How you doing?
So
I just used her name. Used her name.
We are 8 minutes into the show, and nobody probably knows who Steve is. Steve.
That's all I was thinking during that whole story. I'm like, wait, we haven't even told
first,
what the scoop is.
People ask all the time for us to bring on guests. I think we've only had probably 3 or 4 guests in the entirety of the podcast. So this is a rare deal. To have you on here.
You're in rare air right now, my friend.
See, here's what's going to happen, Steve. You're going to fuck this up for all of us because this is probably going to go good, and then they're all going to expect us to continue having guests every show. So, yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tony. Hey, can you give everyone a quick 1 minute? All right, so you're
who are you?
You're in an elevator, right?
No, don't give him a would you rather.
No, this
Steve,
isn't a would you rather.
He's in an elevator with Mark Cuban.
You're in an elevator with Mark Cuban. You have 1 minute for him to get to his penthouse floor. You need to sell yourself to everyone. Give us on why we should invest in you. We're all Mark Cuban. So you got a minute on the clock.
Can I spend part of the minute telling him that I hate the Mavericks? Okay, anyway. So,
you can.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian who doesn't really like the Mavericks. But Mark Cuban likes honesty, so that's good. I guess if people know me, they usually know me for my YouTube. I have a lot of heckler videos that went viral. That's a thing that people usually know. I tour. I have over 150 cities coming up on my tour. So if you live somewhere decent, I will be performing there. If I'm not performing in your city, that's because you live somewhere stupid and you should move. I've hosted some TV shows. I do panel for MLB Network. I'm on MLB Now a bunch. I do a digital show for the New York Mets, which I like way better than the Dallas Mavericks. And even though it's cross sports and the Mets suck, but I still like them better than the Mavericks, Mr. Cuban. But I do enjoy the show Shark Tank. Yeah, I'm talking to Mark Cuban. I want him to know. And aside from that, done movie. I was in a Hallmark movie, a Hallmark Christmas movie, which is weird because I'm Jewish. I figured I'd drop that in to Mark Cuban so he knows, I might be good at business. And that's I guess that's what I do. So that's my thing.
Nice.
Oh, and I'm on this podcast, and my name's not Tony.
It's not Tony.
Oh yeah, what's your real name?
My real name is Steve Hofstetter, and it's so nice to meet you guys, and thanks for having me on, and this is fun.
That stressed me the fuck out, man. You do too much stuff.
I didn't get to
Seattle?
all of it. I'm coming to Seattle, I think over the summer. I usually come to Seattle around the summer, around like June, because I wait for the weather to get good, and then and I got a book coming out in March. Damn, I should have plugged my book like an asshole.
We'll put a link. We'll put a link.
You're stressing me out, man.
Cuban's already off, dude.
We'll put a link.
I'm a 2-string banjo. How do you do that? I don't get it.
I have a crippling fear of failure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's every day I wake up and worry I'm not good enough, and so that makes me do stuff. So it's usually it's that or go to therapy, and so I like you being paid for stuff instead of having to pay a therapist. So it's better that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Income, not outcome.
Yeah.
As long as the outcome is income. Drake said that. Hey, we always live by one thing here, man. It's every day, bro. Jake Paul, baby.
No.
Actually, we live by fuck it, we'll do it live, but there will be links in the description if you guys want to check out everything that Steve does, because he obviously is multifaceted and just a jack of many trades. So
we've posted videos on you before on our site, Dude Comedy. Well, this was a while ago, but
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I recognize
it was probably like
now
2
he's
years
gonna sue
ago.
you. Now he's gonna sue you.
No,
This
is online.
It was a link to his YouTube. So
Yeah, that's
it's
perfectly
embedded.
fine. Oh, but I fucked with the Fine Brothers because they did. They did the reaction video. Like, you know how they
Are
did
those
the whole
ones that
like
tried
we
to
own.
copyright and trademark React?
Those cross-eyed fucks.
Yeah, they
That
tried.
one
They tried to
cross-eyed fuck.
copyright React, and then they do this video where it's like, you know, spoilers to 50 viral videos. And so I had a video that went you know, real viral, and the whole idea of that series is such shit. It's like spoilers. Oh, we're just gonna tell you what happens at the end of all these videos, so you don't have to watch them. So it's
They're
a
taking
dick.
the core of every good part of every video and acting like they own it. Yeah, they're
Absolutely, and that is not fair use. Like fair use, you have to comment on it. You can't just be like, "Here's what happened." So you have to add to it, and it was clearly entertainment. So I issued a takedown notice, and I got them to take down that fucking video.
Nice.
And then, and like I had a nice conversation with their main development guy, and I was like, "Look, I'm not," because they were like, "Oh, you know, you should really remove that." I was like, "Nah, you shouldn't tell me what I should do, because
Yeah.
you issue takedown notices to so many people just for using a fucking word. You don't own that
Yeah.
word." So we went back and forth, and I explained that I was like, "Look, this isn't yours to do. You need permission from the creators, and you need to have our names and the link on screen at all times while you're using our shit. Otherwise, what, you know, because they're like, oh, it benefits you." I'm like, no, it doesn't. You mentioned my name. You didn't even mention my name. You said a comedian. I was like, oh, you think everybody who watches that is going to be like, I'm going to
They're
figure out who that
automatically going
comedian
to go
is.
Google a comedian, and you're going to pop up.
I do come up first when you Google a comedian. That is true. But yeah, so I basically like, you know, had them agree to a bunch of terms, and then I was like, all right, release it. So that was fun.
So they basically treated you at first like you were just any, you know,
course.
typical dumb user that's like, you know, that tried to do it. Then they give you, they're like, but you're in it. Like, look how many views it has. Like,
Yep.
look at how much exposure you're getting. And like, no, dude, I'm a real fucking comedian entertainer. Like, I know that that's not doing shit for me. And they're like, oh, okay.
You could have
Yeah,
you
pretty-
could have given
pretty
an
much.
ultimatum, Steve. You could have said you can add my name, or you could just give me a cut of the revenue of the entirety of the video, and that'll work too.
Oh, smart. I shouldn't have done that. You see, this is why Mark Cuban didn't hire me. Because
Yeah,
I
he
don't
said,
have
"For that
those
reason, I'm out."
instincts.
Because I promise you,
Yeah.
Fine Brothers probably get those premium Disney ads, so that video probably made a good amount of money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was something where they were like, we're gonna bring 10,000 new people to this, and I was like, you realize this video has 5 million views, right? Like, I don't care about your 10,000. I mean, look, I'm not gonna. An extra 10,000 views is good. Views are good. I get it, but at the same time, I was like, you can't just take this shit from me. Like,
No,
you have
they were
to.
just trying to bullshit you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And I mean, and so I always look at it like the majority of viral videos. It's like a viral video for you is so much different than like the random person on Facebook that randomly caught something crazy. Like when you see your shit, or like I used to create videos back in the day when I would see my shit on other people's stuff. Like, okay, I didn't just randomly record some bullshit that I got lucky to catch on camera. You know, like. That's actually like taking away from your livelihood when they're putting it on that, and it's not doing shit for you, you know? And it's like people will actually want to find you. If they thought that was funny, they'd be like, damn, I kind of want to find this guy. But if they think a cat being cute, you know, that they randomly saw, they're not going to go look for that person because they don't care. But like you're an actual like entertainer. So yeah, it's actually like fucking you even more.
Oh, absolutely. And there's such a culture of plagiarism out there right now. And like people, so all the time, you know, like I'll post a joke, and then someone will take that joke, rewrite, like instead of just sharing it, there's a share function on every fucking piece of social media. But like instead of just sharing it, you know, retweeting it, whatever it is, they'll like take it, Photoshop my name off of it, or like rewrite it, put it on a different background, and like pass it off as theirs. And then when I tell them to take it down, they'll be like, "Oh, why being such a pussy about it? You should be honored that people like your joke."
They don't know it's your fucking joke.
It sounds like you had a conversation with the guy who runs Fuck Jerry, because that sounds like something he would say.
Absolutely. That guy, actually, the guy that I have been a very big thorn in his side is Fat Jew, Josh Androsky. I was one of the people who got his book signing canceled. That was so enjoyable. He had a book signing at Barnes & Noble in L.A., and there's so many comedians, live out there. And so we just organized a bunch of us to just talk to Barnes & Noble and be like, hey, this guy steals from us, so don't fucking have him, or we're going to steal from you. And
that's probably all it took.
Yeah, we're like, imagine if 200 of us independently just took a couple books each day. How would that work for you? So they canceled it. But anyway, and there have been a number of things online. I've done a bunch of interviews about it. And then I went to a Knicks game, and MSG is actually really cool about, like, they have this whole like entertainer program where sometimes they give us tickets and they have you for dinner beforehand. And like I get there and fucking Androsky's at the table next to me, and I was like, oh shit, like this is where it gets real. And he didn't say anything to me at all. he just walked right by me.
That's usually how it works in real life too.
He probably didn't say anything because he had to wait till I said something first so that he could steal it. So he had nothing original. So it was.
So the Fat
bizarre.
Jew guy, does he even make original content, or does he just post memes and shit? I mean, I've seen him around, and but like, what does he do? Does he actually make his own content like that could be stolen, or does he just post like memes and stuff?
What he'll do is he'll take someone else's joke and he'll write a new caption of the picture, like as if it's his.
Okay.
The worst one, he stole one from a black comedian about what it was like growing up being black. And I was like, are you fucking serious? You just pass us off as your, like, do you not even know what this joke means?
Like, it's crazy that somebody can get so popular from doing that shit while there's he's stealing stuff from actual original people. And I mean, so I have a fairly large Facebook page, and when I first started, I would like, if I would never take videos from creators. Like, I would never just, like, because I was a creator like every day at one point, so I would never just go look at your comedian video and be like, I'm fucking posting that, because I know that like you depend on that. But sometimes if I saw like a clip on the news or like some like off-brand fucking clip that I knew that person wasn't like actually trying to make money from it, I would use it. This was like 2 years ago, but now I make it's you figure out super easy that, like, dude, if the Fat Jew guy would have went and asked that dude who made that joke and said, hey, like, I'm going to kind of alter your joke, I'm going to put your tag in like the comment or in the description on Instagram. Like, it's crazy how easy people will just be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, that's what I started doing for my Facebook. I'd be like, man, I can't just be fucking, even if they are just like clips, like now people license stuff and everything, and it's just like I never felt right. Just, I mean, taking like news clips and everything is cool, but I would just hit the person up on Facebook and say, hey, can I post this on my 6 million follower page? 99% of the time they just go, yeah, just tag me in the comment section or tag me in the description. I'm like, all right, cool. It could be like a mega viral video, but when you actually ask people, it's crazy how quick they are just to say, yeah, cool, just give me some form of credit, and I bet you the Fat Jew guy, if he would have just taken an extra 2 seconds, like, he's going to be able to contact these people because has a huge following. I mean, just fucking give the person credit, ask them, and if you get their permission, then everybody wins, but people are just like, I gotta fuck it, like, fuck that, like, this is all me. And
as a Jewish person, by the way, the thing I hate most about him is that he identifies himself like as Jewish, and then I was like, we get enough stereotypes of people thinking that we're like shifty already. Like, don't be a horrible shifty person and be like, by the way, everybody, just call me Jew. Like, we all voted, you're not allowed in synagogue anymore. Get the fuck out. You're not one of us.
Yeah, you're banned, dude. I went back and looked. So this was from 2015. The comedian was Devin Magwood.
Davin Magwood,
He wrote, this is what he wrote: going to start dressing like a lion. That way cops know that if they kill me, white people will avenge me. And then Fat Jewish and Fuck Jerry stole the exact same thing, and they're both white.
And yeah, because that was right when like Cecil the Lion. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
at the same. It was like combining Cecil the Lion and black people getting regularly killed by police officers into one great joke. And so it's just so amazing that sites like that could just post that as if they wrote it, and just and people were okay with it. It's the same thing when Mencia was outed as a thief. There were so many people who were like, "Who cares? He does it better." And it's like, but no.
That's not the.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
The point, yeah.
I think it's people who can't be creative themselves, don't understand what it is to have a thought stolen. And so, the majority of people, the vast majority of people totally get it and be like, yeah, you just don't do that. That's a shitty thing to do. But then there are people who are like, what's the big deal? I don't have original thoughts, so it's okay that they don't have original thoughts.
The people that already have millions of followers, and it's like that's what made them successful. That's why they're cool with it, because it's like look at them. They're fucking probably 8 and 10 million follower Instagram pages. Like they don't give a fuck, man. They're just like it's just their business model, man. So in their, I'm sure at one point they're like they probably know on the inside, but they probably just keep telling themselves like, man, it's just a joke. Like you can't patent pen jokes, like it's
which is so dumb. The argument that Andrassi used was he goes, "Oh, I'm just an internet guy." Be like, so you mean you make money on the most popular medium in the world?
Yeah.
Like, is that just an internet guy? That excuse might have worked in like '98. But everyone's an internet guy, you dumb fuck. The point is,
Here we go.
The point is, he's going to pass off this podcast and say that he was on it and that he was saying all of these things. So that's the next.
It's his
move.
business model.
Yeah. Damn it, Tony. All right.
We should invite him on, and then we'll have Steve like jump on, and we'll just like fuck with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, please do. That would
Just
be
bombard him with stolen jokes. Like, hey, did you steal this one?
Yeah, or this one, or this one, or this one, or hey, come up with a unique original joke right now, really quick, since you're a funny man.
Yeah. Just be like, tell me one of yours. Come on, you're good. Tell me your favorite joke that you wrote. Yeah.
Because didn't Fuck Jerry try to make get into music and shit?
Did he?
I think he did, and I think the real reason why F Jerry or Fuck Jerry, whatever, he rubbed me the wrong way is he did an article that he posted like bragging from like CNN Money about how he's like taking over Instagram and stuff. And then in the article, there's a big bold quote that's like, yeah, we run 5 side pages, but anything that you see on the main page has been carefully created by Elliot, which is the guy. And he was like, I create all those. And then you go to his page and you're just like, bro, I just saw this 4 hours ago on someone else's page. You clown.
It's
funny when they don't at least take the time to like just take the picture and like remake it. You can tell like when people like screenshot 8 times off Instagram that there's a little line up top and it's like all like deteriorated and shit. Like at least take the time and fucking remake it. Like you're not tricking anybody. Like you can tell you just just screenshotted that and fucking did a terrible job at cropping it.
It is truly incredible that like Instagram allows this to happen. Like they know. There's got to be someone important at Instagram who's like, yeah, we know. But I guess because they get a lot of views. But I think that if they kicked them off, it would be such a viral story that, and it would change the culture of plagiarism completely.
Yeah.
Because people...
not only, so they're actually verified now. Like I follow a couple other, they're not as big, but... and I wouldn't say I'm friends with them, but I've talked to them about like doing swaps and stuff for like Facebook shares. But they're fucking verified now. Like all they do is post. Most of the time, I would say like Daquan and their shithead Steve. Like 80% of the shit is not stuff that they made up, and they're fucking verified. And how do you get verified when all you do is like post memes? That's what I always look at their shit. I'm like. Like how is Facebook verify that this is not like stolen content, because they're not Facebook but Instagram, and they're all verified, and I'm sure Instagram loves it.
Yeah, it's disgusting. The point is, someone at Instagram, someone high up at Instagram who's listening, and we know you are, because you guys have big fans at Instagram, right? That's what I read about the show. When I did my research, it was you guys are like the #1 show at the Instagram offices. Is that right? Did I get that wrong?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So Instagram people, when you guys are listening to this on the Big Friday meeting, fuck off. Go fuck yourselves and help us. Help independent creators. Anyway,
help me help you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys. I'm glad you have a similar viewpoint on this bullshit, because there are some people who are just like, what does it matter? We're just spreading funny into the world. I'm like, yeah, fucking, what does it matter if someone steals your car? They're just putting more mileage on it, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
So funny
That's
story about
good.
Instagram real quick that I've.
Here we
You
go.
want to hear the most bullshit fucking ever?
You're opening
I'm
the pit in the
down.
box, Tony.
Let's
I'm
see if
in.
I can explain this the right way. So I took a picture of me and my 2 sons. We're riding around our neighborhood, and I got like a little Polaris Razor. It's a side-by-side, like a mini car looking thing. You know, it's an ATV looking thing. So I take a picture, and I'm holding it out of the driver's side door, you know, a selfie picture, and I got me in it, and then I got my 2 kids in the passenger seat. And so
Yeah.
my oldest younger child is just giving me the weirdest fucking look. He's like glaring at me, like, you know, like internally I could tell he's saying like, wow, my dad is such a douchebag, because I got this like funny,
That's
like,
a great.
just-
They just linked me the picture. This
I
is
just said it.
amazing. This is
just said it.
amazing.
Yeah. So that's the fucking picture. And so I put it on I had like 310,000 followers on Instagram. I put it on there, but what's the, it's not, is it third person when I say, so the,
Yeah.
in the description I said, I kind of memed it as myself, and I put, when a son realizes his father is a massive douchebag, and it's me in the fucking picture.
Yeah.
And so I posted the picture. We were heading on our way to Yellowstone, and I opened up my Instagram, and it's like, you were logged out. And I'm like, that's fucking weird, because it's never done that before. And bam, my account was terminated. And then through some contacts I have and stuff, that's the picture that got my account terminated for bullying. I bullied myself into a Instagram 300,000 follower account termination.
And they wouldn't like give that back?
No, I had multiple people in contact. So like my YouTube network, they contacted them, but it was kind of fishy when they contacted them, because usually, because they've done stuff like that before with their people getting their Instagrams, you know, removed and stuff. And all the time they say, oh yeah, this is the picture, this was the violation. But when my YouTube network contacted them, they didn't say anything. They're like, yep, it was a violation because bullying. But they didn't say like what picture it was. Like they were being fucking weird about it. And then I had a dude that works closely with Facebook, and they even said like, yes, this is the picture. It was for bullying. And they they couldn't grasp the concept that it was fucking me in the picture, you know?
Yeah.
And so, so they wouldn't, I mean, this happened 3 months ago. And so I finally just the other day started a new Instagram, because I think Instagram's probably like my favorite to deal with, just because it's quick, easy videos, like minute-long videos. And yeah, they just fucking took it away from me.
Yeah, I just looked at your new page, and I mean, you've got almost 3,000 followers now, so it's a matter of time before you get up to 300,000. I mean, a matter of like more time than exists in the world, but still, it's a matter of time.
That's actually funny though, because the catch is like, the Instagram I had, it wasn't very active. Like I mean, depends on what very active is to some people, but yeah, I would get 15 to 25,000 views a pop, which is pretty good, but not for 300,000 people, so it wasn't really the end of the world. It wouldn't be that hard to build up to that like view range. But like, how many pictures I had on there that were only on Instagram, like deleted off my phone, and like it was like all tons of family pictures. Like every now and then I would post like a meme and stuff, and nothing crazy over the top, because I know that Instagram is really sensitive. And then that fucking picture, out of every picture I've ever posted, gets me terminated for bullying. Like it's.
I'm looking at the picture of you with the raccoon tail. Is it?
That was in Yellowstone. I got that.
Yeah, that picture should have gotten you banned.
When we were in Yellowstone, the whole fucking time I was wearing that. It was great. Me and my son got to sit. You know how there's this company called The Mountain, and they put they make like animal shirts. So we had matching animal shirts, and I was like, man, if I'm going to Yellowstone, I'm soaking this fucking place in and living it, you know. It was like a $20 raccoon tail, and yeah, I wanted to find the raccoon hat, but I couldn't do it. So then we saw these keychains, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best of both worlds with my $5 Marine hat that I got from a gas station in the raccoon tail. But
this is why your son was giving you that look. This is exactly.
That's exactly. But yeah, they couldn't comprehend. I mean, it's pretty hard to comprehend that people speak in third person and call themselves a douchebag. But
yeah,
it is what it fucking is.
I had a buddy get kicked off of Bumble because he's a minor league baseball player, and he does this series. It's Matt Pere. He does this series, Homeless Minor Leaguer. I don't know if you ever seen it, but it's real funny. It's like all these baseball sketches, and he like referenced one of them in his Bumble profile, and like in a very self-deprecating manner. And someone reported him for being like a commercial profile, and they kicked him off.
Oh
what is Bumble?
Yeah.
It's like
what is Bumble?
Tinder. It's like Tinder, but better.
Oh, okay.
It's like higher end Tinder. Yeah. Meanwhile, like there are sugar babies on Bumble, and they don't seem to care about that. I had a girl I matched with who just like we're talking back and forth for a little bit, and then she says that she requires $2,000 a week because she has big dreams.
Wow.
And so I replied, and I was like, "Oh, so you're a prostitute?" And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you're a prostitute. You should say that in your profile. Like your profile, should just be, her name was Barbie, which I'm sure isn't her real name, but it should just be like Barbie, prostitute. Rates starting as low as $2,000 a week." Yeah.
The name alone speaks prostitute.
I figured, but also a lot of people, like won't use their real name right away because they're like, oh, people at work might see me or, whatever it is. So, and then meanwhile, you've got other people. I saw a profile on Tinder yesterday that was it was astonishing. It was just a girl, like the whole, like you could see her face. It was very clear who she was, and her profile was just like, I'm just here to fuck. Like I don't want to play any games. But it's just so funny to me.
Sounds like
Backpage.com. Yeah, it's just like, is that Becky from HR? Like who? Like,
yeah, they have real lives out there. It's fucking funny.
Hey,
yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I'm in Boise. It's not a huge city, Like, there's like I run into people I know when I'm in New York. On it. I mean, I can't even imagine how quickly you'd have to, like, you could swipe through and just see everybody on that thing. Like, there's got to be someone who's just like, Mom? Is that?
That would be awkward. Well, okay, yeah. So we've reached the 30-minute mark. And, Steve, what we do on this podcast, since we don't have any sponsors, really. Well, we have a couple, but they seem to come and go, is we've decided to make up our own sponsors. So what I need you to do now is I need you to read off whoever you want to sponsor the show. I want you to come up with a quick sponsor for us. Doesn't matter who, whatever you want. We give out free sponsor. We give out free advertisement. It's a little game we play.
I already did product placement for cocaine earlier with the Bumble story.
Yes, you did.
But yeah. Okay, so this is brought to you by Joe's name brand cocaine.
Nice.
Try Joe's cocaine. You've tried regular cocaine, but Joe's cocaine is laced with heroin. It's a little something extra.
That's good.
If you want that extra kick in the morning or at night or whenever else, because you'll be thrown out of your house and have all day to yourself, use Joe's cocaine. Joe's cocaine. That's all I got.
That's pretty good. I thought you were going to go with it. The show was sponsored by Bumble. Or the Fat Jew guy, or whoever that guy was.
Yeah, this show is sponsored by the Fat Jew. Yeah. That's not true, because we don't give any money to anybody.
You should have just what do they call 8 balls? Is that what cocaine is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy 3 8 balls, get 1 overdose for free.
Colby, are you even on the mic?
This show is brought to you by Tinder. Tinder, where you can meet a bot a catfish, a scammer, or your dream girl. Roll the dice today at Tinder.com.
Do they have bots and stuff on there that try and fuck people over?
Yeah.
I've never been on anything, so.
Oh, my favorite. I whenever I run into one of those, I'll talk to them just so I can get a screen grab and make my friends laugh. Like I love fucking with the bots. Like the second I realized that
Twitter bots are the best.
You'll wake up one day and there'll be like seven models following you. You're like, oh
well, the
shit,
Twitter
I
bots
made
are
it.
like, fuck me like a dog. Click here. I mean, it's just
yeah.
all day, every day.
Well,
It's every day, bro.
The Tinder bots, very similar. Like the language is always a little fucked up. I'll always just to check real quick because they have like a script that they go through, and so I'll just ask them a question where they have to decide something, like just to make sure it's a bot. So I'll just be like, hey, I was thinking of getting lunch today. What do you recommend? What are your favorites? Something like that. And so this one thing writes this whole thing about how I just got out of a relationship and I'm just looking for something simple. But if you just go to this Tinder Verify site first, just to make sure, I'm just trying to be careful, all that shit, just spam garbage. And so I just did this whole role play where I was her ex-boyfriend's dad trying to have an intervention and trying to stop her from whoring around town. And then I agreed to meet her, just for intervention's sake. And I was like, you should add me on Skype. My screen name is I want to fuck my son's ex-girlfriend. And it was a fun little screen grab thing.
So Twitter is sometimes I don't really get that many. I'm not very active on Twitter, but sometimes I'll look at it and be like, why the fuck do I got 20 plus, whatever they mentions, I go look at it and it's like people liking tweets from 4 years ago. And I mean, it's
well, what they'll do is they'll retweet or like ones that are funny now. Like they would say something and they completely contradict themselves now. Like with Trump, a tweet Trump puts out 5 years ago that is completely opposite of what he says now. People will bring that stuff back up. That's the thing to do.
Well, sorry to cut you off. The Twitter bot thing, that, it's weird when someone retweets an old one or favorites something from years ago. But every now and then, have you ever gotten a real person who favorites something from 4 years ago and you're just creeped the fuck out?
Yeah. You wonder how they even found it.
That's when you're deep diving on a girl's Instagram and you're way too deep and you're in 3 years ago territory and you double tap the button on the accident and you like it. You're just unheart.
Yeah, unheart quickly. Speaking of Twitter, really quick. Kyle, this is for you. Musk put out a video this morning how he wants to replace planes with rockets, and he shows a demonstration where he wants to make it where you can travel anywhere on the Earth in under an hour. And he says that their goal is to put people on Mars by 2024. So this is within
that?
Musk. Elon Musk, how you ever say his name?
I'll go. Like I said, I'll be the test dummy man.
But he put up a video. He
first.
wants to replace planes with rockets, and you'd be able to get anywhere on Earth within an hour. And he shows
except Spirit Rocket Airlines would still take 4 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
And would charge you for oxygen.
He said the price would be the same as a full round trip ticket on a regular plane.
I don't know if I'd trust that.
If you watch it here, I'll let you guys watch the video. But I don't know. It's cool, but I just don't feel comfortable with it landing. I guess I don't. Here we go.
I'd be more uncomfortable with the takeoff. That's when shit goes wrong. All that rocket fuel and booster. That's when shit fucks up, man.
That's what he wants.
You can count me out on that. Send me to Mars. It's not worth it to send me to Africa, man. I'd send me to Mars.
As a kid who grew up so I'm 38, so I was in grade school when the Challenger blew up, and I remember just watching that over and over and over again. Yeah. There's part of me that's I wouldn't get on a rocket, but then there's also part of me that's if I didn't know any better, why the fuck are we getting on planes?
That's true.
We've just accepted that planes are fine. Meanwhile, they crash and disappear, and people take them and use them to hit buildings and shit.
Shout out MH170.
Yeah. We're still okay
See
with
that,
it.
but that's I mean, I would planes are a
370.
little more, a little safer in my opinion than a rocket ship that's fully powered by rocket boosters.
Yeah.
But I always think every time I get on a plane, I actually always tweet it out or something. I'm like, this could be the one.
I'm not going to take one of these rockets, though, unless it has Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, dude,
I'm
you
sure
got
they
it.
will.
You got to
Yeah.
have the Wi-Fi.
If I can't get my work done on this intercontinental rocket, I'm not going to.
This hour flight from
this
here
37
to
minute
Australia.
Yeah.
I just how would you land the rocket? It's obviously not going to land like it took off, so it's going to land like a plane.
Have you no? Have you seen you haven't been following the Elon crew?
Well, I did.
No, they're able to land rockets standing up.
No
now.
way.
Like, yes, go
Yeah,
look
they
at a
do.
video. They've done it
That's
multiple
Okay, well, my
times
next
already.
question then
SpaceX.
is there like, does it have its own gravity inside? Because if it doesn't, it's like you're on a freaking state fair ride.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
dope.
you're gonna be looking straight
well-
up while you're coming down. I don't know about that.
No, I mean I don't know how it'll all be seated and stuff, but I mean once you're cruising at speed, I mean it's just like normal. You don't really feel it.
Yeah, but when
They'll
you start to
pressurize
come
it like a
down, if
plane.
you're gonna come down ass first,
Hey, here's the question no one's asking: are the peanuts gonna taste better in a rocket than they do on a plane?
I don't know.
You haven't flown in a while. They don't do peanuts anymore.
It's,
Allergies.
Yeah.
it's these
This
little
ain't-
biscotti cookies and
Yeah, they have like all kinds of
gourmet
stuff.
cracker cookies.
But
Oh,
but
get out.
no peanuts because the allergies.
Which one is which airline is it that when you ask for like a Coke or something, they pour you the little cup and then they don't give you the can? It
Oh, that's
pisses
all of
me.
them now.
No. One of, or I think it's, I
What,
want to say
Spirit?
Delta. Delta gives you the whole can. But I was on one the last time, and they literally, she poured it. She's like, "Here you go." And I took a drink while she was pulling it back, and it was empty. And I'm like, eh. And she's like, "Oh," and pours some more in it. I'm like, "Just give me
Yeah.
the can."
Yeah, be like, I'm not going to use this as a weapon. Are you afraid? Are you afraid I'm going to pull this pop top off and kill everybody with it?
Give me the fucking
I could probably actually make a pretty good dagger out of a can.
Well, they did a study. I forget what airline it was, but there was an airline that like cut because they used to do like quarter lemon wedges with the drinks, and then they changed it to 1/8 instead. And over the course of a year, they saved like $4 million. It was insane. Yeah, but just because the volume that they do. So like I do understand that. But I was on. Have you ever taken Ryanair in Europe?
Never even heard of it.
Ryanair is basically like Europe was like looking around and they like saw Spirit and they were like, how do we make this worse?
Oh,
And so yeah, it's one of these things. It's like €20 to go almost anywhere, and so like you get what you pay for. And the level of people who are, because I didn't know any better, I didn't know what it was, and so like I was just touring in Europe, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some tickets, and this will be cheap, and it'll be a good way to go around. And holy shit, there was one flight where the row in front of me, there were one of these families that has like every 9 months they have a new kid. Where they just have like two kids
Mormons.
per grade. Yeah. So they were European Mormons, right? So they were, it was this family. There were like 7 of them, and they all seemed around the same age. And 3 of them were sitting in front of me, and they had plastic cups, and they were just chucking them at each other, like full speed, like in the next seat from each other, like just beaning each other with these plastic cups. And then another flight I was on, there was a couple in front of me that was like practically having sex above their clothes. Yeah. Like just going at it.
That sounds like a great flight to be on. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I took such a fun little Snapchat just of me smiling behind them, like while they were going at it. Now I didn't get banned from Snapchat for it though, even though I
Kyle
also
got banned
referred to
from
myself.
Instagram.
Yeah, I know. I actually, Kyle, I was the one that reported your photo. I'm sorry. I should confess that.
oh,
Yeah.
You're fucked, sonny boy.
the truth is that.
All right,
yeah,
Colby, do you have any
Ryanair
would
is
you
horrible.
rather for Steve?
Oh, no. I can get some.
God, you sure just fucking out of it. those take thought.
God, you had
Would you
job,
rather
Cody.
play Would You Rather or not? That's the only one. He
I'm
has.
curious. How do you know that we exist, and how did you reach out to us? Why?
I had a fan just be like, "Hey, you should check these guys out," and that's how I've done a lot of the stuff. Like I was on like PK and Drunken Peasants and stuff because of that. Because like just we had a fan in common who was like, "Hey, you should check these guys out," and I was like, "All right, cool, I'll check them out." And then it seemed funny. I watched a clip and I was like, "Yeah, these guys are funny." So.
Easy as that. Jeez.
Yeah.
The podcast this is kind of new territory because we like I think the majority like Colby didn't really do YouTube in the past, but now he's like one of the fastest. It's crazy. Now he's like the fastest growing guy ever on YouTube, thanks to kind of me and the dude that isn't here. We're kind of like has been YouTubers. Like we kind of did our thing back in the past, and Jimmy still does stuff, but I've totally forgot. Oh yeah, so the podcast is it's a little different audience. I kind of like it because it seems like the majority we get like older people, so it's kind of a change up for us, and we're like feeling it out. But I totally forgot where the fuck I was going with that after explaining. My mind was just blown. How the fuck is Colby the fastest growing dude on YouTube?
You seriously don't know
I
what
thought
you're
your mind
get.
was. I thought your mind was blown because you were getting sad about how you used to be bigger on YouTube.
Oh no!
and then you just trailed off.
Dude, if I tried to do shit on YouTube today, like my account would probably be terminated within 3 days, and then I still wouldn't give a fuck. But yeah, YouTube's crazy. I mean, I don't know if you've been affected, but YouTube is way different than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so YouTube changed right around when I was growing because I went viral about a year and a half ago. And so my YouTube went from, I had 95,000 subscribers, and in a week it went to 150,000. And it's been progressing, and so now I'm at like 260, which is still small as, like the big channels go, but it's enough to make a living. And what's crazy is that like I've been growing, but my money has been staying about the same.
Yeah.
Like I get bigger, and it's just to stay afloat. Now look, I'm not complaining because I'm able to tour because of it, and everything has changed in a very profound and positive way for me because of it. But I just look at it and I go, man, would I have liked to have been here 5 years ago?
Yeah, that's when like they didn't have all these crazy
that was the Wild
algorithms.
West.
Everybody saw your shit.
West.
Yeah, and also, I hate this new thing that they have where like they'll just assume a video isn't suitable for advertisers until they check otherwise.
Yep.
Like that. Oh, that whole thing is so frustrating because they're like, oh, we don't know if advertisers.
Are you getting hit with that a lot?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I do stand up and I curse a lot, and so there's all the time like people will just see. I mean, even. Because I go political and I say fuck all the time, and so they just have like an algorithm where there's like advertisers will be afraid of this. I'm like, no, just have 2 categories of advertisers, you dicks.
Yep.
Just have
when there's like a Miller Lite commercial or a Miller Lite ad, I should say. It's like they don't care. Like they want that's like the demo they want. They want people watching that who are gonna, and then maybe don't give me the Disney ad.
Yeah, and my demo is my demo is older than a lot of the YouTube demo. I mean, it's not like ancient, like they're going to die soon. I mean, they're probably going to die soon due to their lifestyle choices. But like my demo is pretty much like 15 to 35-year-old male. Like that's most of my channel. It's like 87% male and then like 13% cool-ass women. And so like that's a great target demo for advertisers. Like that's something that beer companies would absolutely want. Cigarette companies would love that, especially get to the 15-year-olds. Get them young. But
get that vape life.
Yeah, absolutely. Get all those vape advertisements. And I don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck they're doing.
Well, Jimmy's our go-to YouTube guy. We ask him all those questions.
Well, what they say right now is get everything reviewed because they want it makes the bot smarter, and then the bot will know moving forward. I will say this: it has gotten better. A lot of stuff still gets hit, but I see a lot more of it that gets reviewed and turned back over. But here's the problem: if you're a small YouTuber, you're fucked. Because right now they have this stipulation of it has to get 1,000 views within 7 days. So you get hit before it even goes live. You can't get it reviewed until it gets to 1,000. If you're a small YouTuber, let's say you max out at 1,000 views, by the time you get it reviewed, the shelf life of the video's done. You didn't make shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Which, as a big YouTuber, I'm fine with that. Very selfish person, but I don't want anyone taking my crown. I think it's silly, but that's the world we live in, and it's also something like. Okay, so all those like stupid Facebook quizzes, those like what blank are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my
Jimmy's done those before.
Yep.
That's kind of my fault.
It wasn't my fault.
No, I mean like it's so those got popular. So I made a whole bunch of them with a friend of mine like early on when like Facebook apps were first starting. And there were other people making them also, but like ours were different because we did two things. One, like the descriptions and the questions were funny. We weren't just like, which Disney princess are you? Are you brunette? Well, then you're not Ariel. Like it wasn't dumb shit like that. So we were funny about it, but then also we realized that like people don't want an accurate answer of who they're like. They just want to get the one that they want to be. And so like we made our answers based on like aspirational. And so like everybody was like, which Harry Potter character are you? I'm Harry. We're all Harry. So anyway, those went crazy viral and we were making a ton of money off of them. And which was good because at the time I was like a struggling stand-up. And then my asshole lazy friend was like, yeah, this is enough. I was like, you realize this is going to change real soon, right? Like this is going to all go away. And he's like, no, we'll be doing this forever. And then within like a week, we were making our height. We were making $1,000 a day. And that lasted a week. And then within the next week, we were making $50 a day. I was like,
everybody was doing it, or Facebook, just more people were doing it, right? Or Facebook cut down on it?
Both. It was at the same time. It was competition, and Facebook changed the system. And we had 6 million users, and I was like, man, if you were fucking listen to me, we could have owned this shit. We could have been an ethical fuck Jerry. Like,
yeah,
we could have been there first.
Yeah, when by the time I was on Facebook, that stuff was kind of already all done. But fuck, man, if you would have came up with that today, and we partnered up on that, holy shit,
yeah,
we'd be killing the game. But
instead, I just want to kill my friend.
Yeah, Facebook's fucking assholes, and they like to
killing the game like Blake Vase.
They like to kill everything that is awesome.
Well, they don't control it. If they don't control it, they're like everything else. They don't control it. It's dead to them.
Yeah, I actually pitched them years and years ago. So I actually have, this is a weird thing. I have the record for the most Facebook friends because before they put that 5,000 cap, I had the most at the time. So I had 200,000, and no one else had over 100,000. Then they put that cap in, and it's still there, which sucks. You fucking take it off. But anyway, I talked to them about the idea of doing like live touring and like recording and stuff, and they were very like, we kind of, that's not what we do. We're staying in our lane. And I was like, okay. And then I look at that they're doing TV now, and I was like, motherfuckers. Tried to do that. I tried to do that with you guys in 2004.
That's what that's their thing that they're looking for now, is like if you have some form of series on Facebook, like a successful series, like Tipsy Bartender is one of them that somebody was saying, like they will suck your dick. They're literally suck your dick if you do that stuff, because that's what they want on their shit now. They don't
worth
like
people too.
Yeah, they don't like they're not about like video memes and shit like that. Like they want like actual show. They want to be YouTube basically.
Yeah, but there's no revenue share right now, which sucks.
Yeah,
there is on a few pages.
Yeah, for a few pages there is, but I've.
Do you have a special page?
No.
No,
okay.
We're blackballed, man.
Jimmy has a partnership with some of his videos on like a gaming page, but I think there's only like 500 people or something, like 150 people that have it. Yeah, but I know somebody that has it, and I've heard there's massive swings, and it's really not it was cool at first, but now they have a system that just kind of like YouTube that, you know, if you say hell, you know, it's getting
It all starts out
you can't
great,
monetize
dude.
it.
Twitter monetization out the gate the first week was amazing, and then it went to shit.
Yeah, I didn't even know that Twitter monetized.
There's
tried it.
It's already gone now.
No, it's not gone. It's there. I can still put ads on a video, but it's not worth it. Hey, this is completely off topic, but we're getting close to the end of the show, so I wanted to ask: did anybody watch the game last night? Did anybody watch the hit?
Adams died, dude. He's dead.
He did not die.
He died.
I still think it was an accident.
He didn't
I'm
die.
with the dude that hit him. It was an accident.
Are you serious? You really think that the guy spoke and he said, "I had no ill intention or I wasn't trying to hit him maliciously." The dude was being held by another guy, stood up, and then this dude torpedoes him in the head. It
all happened so fast.
Bullshit.
It all happened so fast.
I give him the benefit of the doubt.
That dude should have been thrown out and suspended.
Oh, he'll get suspended, but I don't think I thought it was a really brutal hit and uncalled for. But that being said, it all happened so fast, and his head
bullshit.
was down.
How can you say that? He was stood up.
Because I've played football.
I know, but he was stood up.
That.
It wasn't a bang play. It wasn't a caught the ball get hit. He was stood up by another defender, and then this
but you don't
dude
know
comes
nowadays.
Rocket Man in.
How many times have you seen?
Bullshit.
How many times have you seen a dude stood up and then break a tackle, and everyone looks stupid because they all gave up on the play?
But he didn't break a tackle. He was.
Well, how does he know he wasn't going to?
He was bear hugged, and this guy ballistic missiled him in the face.
So listen. So the dude was falling to the ground when he got hit in the face. Now, if that dude would have dove like that and put his head on the ball and he caused a fumble, people would be like, "Oh my God, that was a great
That's
fucking
exactly
tackle."
what I'm
stuff.
saying.
He wasn't falling to the ground.
Yes, he was. Right before
he was a still target, dude.
Okay,
No,
so
he
hold
was
on.
falling
That's
towards
fine.
the ground.
Take it as a still target, Kyle. Same situation, still target. The guy makes that play, but he hits the ball out. He's the hero. Just saying.
No, it was
Well,
completely
I would
malicious.
say that another team in my fantasy league has Adams, so I think it was a clean hit.
Yeah, clean hit to you. Boy, it was rough watching it in slow-mo. Jeez.
Oh, I agree. It was brutal. I think it was one of the worst hits I've seen
For
in the
the
last
guy,
couple years.
but for the guy to say that wasn't his intention of what he was doing. Bullshit, man. He was headhunting. He went right after him.
I don't think his intention was to send him to the hospital.
Well, no, but
But
they
I
said
think
he
his
was
intention
celebrating
was to
after
do
it.
something. I think his intention was to do something that could send him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that we've come now to where it's like we used to watch that when I was growing up? It was like jacked up and everything.
Oh, yeah, you're like, fuck yeah!
And now it's like, that was too hard of a hit.
Look, these guys know the difference between lowering their helmet and not lowering their helmet. It's the way it wasn't. I don't think it's a question of if he was standing up, if the play was over. It's a question of how he went in. He lowered his helmet, which is not okay. It's a cheap shot, and therefore punished for a cheap shot.
Neck and head.
Oh, he will be suspended. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
If it was more bang bang, like he was wrapped up and then he got hit right after, he definitely did. Like
he was a defenseless player and he was targeted. That's what I'm saying. If it was a bang bang quick, he got wrapped up and hit a split second later. He got wrapped up and like 2 seconds later, dude comes in and just torpedoes him. That's what.
I mean, I'm watching it again now. Like he lowered his helmet and hit him like he was a fucking bobblehead. Like
his
hit him.
head did bobble.
Loaded.
Yeah, hit him. I mean, it wasn't.
If the mouth guard flies out, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, it didn't just fly out. That mouth guard landed in Detroit.
Yeah.
Like that was the way he did it. And I'm watching it again. The whole standing up thing, I don't take that as an argument because he still needed to be put down. Like he wasn't down yet. The play wasn't over. But you don't lower your helmet and hit another guy in the head, or
his receivers knew instantly that it was bad.
They all ran over there like, uh-oh.
Maybe he was just like, you know what? Look, the dude probably already has CTE, so what's the big deal? You can't give someone more CTE.
That's a good point.
Apparently
Yeah.
you can. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez had a decent dosage of CTE.
But by the way, everybody who's been like, maybe we should reconsider. When he was 17, when he was already like a brutal criminal. Like he just didn't get convicted because he was a football star, but he was already arrested for like basically attempted murder at 17. And I understand that you can get CTE early, but at the same time, the idea of like, well, by the time he was 23, it was pretty advanced. It's like, okay. But Aaron Hernandez was also the kind of guy who probably ran into walls on his own time.
For fun.
Yeah, and also,
Absolutely.
like, I don't understand, like, okay, maybe his brain was fucked up, but, like, I never understand, like, how come, like, okay, if his brain's fucked up, like, why does that lead him to, like, people would say this, like, okay, he probably killed these guys, his brain wasn't right, like, why does it lead up to doing fucked up things, It's like, like, why can't people do happy things when, like, if their brain's fucked up? Like, I that's what I also don't understand. Like, it's already, like, something that's already predetermined in your brain. Like, it's not like just because your brain's fucked up, just automatically, okay, I'm cool to do fucked up shit,
I love the idea.
Something was already predetermined.
I love the idea that, like, what if, like, he was just, like, a racist asshole and then he gets hit in the head and he's like, actually, people are equal. I'm thinking about that more.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what is people always give excuses for literally everything, and it's like why can't why can't he just
be a
bad,
murderer?
Like,
Well,
like,
also
maybe the dude is just fucked up.
Also, what about, like, you can't make the argument that, like, most of the league has CTE and make the argument of, CTE is what made Aaron Hernandez a murderer without making the argument that they're all murderers.
Exactly.
Like, what about all the other guys with CTE who didn't happen to murder a whole bunch of people over the course of several years?
Yeah, I mean, they give the suicide excuse for it. I mean, like, suicide, I completely understand the suicide. They were at, like, the peak of the fucking nation and, like, popularity. Like Steve McNair at one time was, like, the most popular black quarterback. Like, it's like they don't know how to deal with coming down from that popularity, and, like, that's probably why a lot of people commit suicide. It has probably, I mean, I doubt that the research is really there, but it's probably not because they have CTE. It's probably because they can't deal with the drop in popularity and, like, fame and money. Like, it's a life changer when you're making millions and you literally go to nothing if you don't have deals and stuff. Like that's probably why they committed suicide, not because they got hit in the head a bunch of times.
Well, and CTE is definitely a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. And you're absolutely right about, I refer to athlete retirement as the cliff, because, like, so working as a sports writer, I've gotten to know a number of these guys. And, like, there are a lot of guys who, after they retire, the first couple months is great. And then after a little while, they're just kind of like, well, what happened to everybody? Like, why isn't everybody so excited to see me anymore? Like, there's a human emotion there. And by the way, I'm looking at this history. So Aaron Hernandez, double shooting in 2007, double homicide in 2012, shooting in 2013, and then the murder that we all know about in 2013. That.
So he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's a piece of shit with advanced CTE, or he was before he died, and great. And I know that there's the whole, like, people try to do the whole, like, don't say anything bad about the dead. Be like, when an asshole dies, they're just a rotting asshole. It doesn't erase the horrible shit that they've done. So no love lost for that at all. I think it's good that he's dead. I don't think it's good that he got CTE, but I think it had very little, if anything, to do with him murdering people.
But it was honorable that he killed himself, so he actually wasn't convicted of his crime, so his daughter could get paid.
Is that really how it happened?
I think that's actually...
People say that. Yeah, people say
that's
that.
That's actually the least honorable thing. Like the idea... The idea of, like, I'm going to find a way to cheat the system so my daughter still makes money, like, that's completely not honorable. That is the absolute opposite of honor.
That's the thing. And in 2017, that's what people are like. People are like, wow, like, he did that. Like, wow. Like, no, he's a fucking piece of shit no matter what.
Yeah, I think he
killed people.
Yeah, and he probably killed himself, first of all, because he had run out of other people to kill. And killing people is, like, his favorite thing. So, like, he was like, you know what, I'm going to kill one more guy. Oh, but it's me. But also, I think maybe he killed himself because he didn't want to be in prison for his entire life. That might be also a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just crazy. Like, imagine being at like the peak of the Patriots, massive contract, and like all you had to do is just not kill people. Like,
you could have done anything else.
Crimes.
Oh, you could commit crimes. You could commit crimes, just not that level that he committed them.
Yeah,
and from what we've learned,
you could assault your girlfriend and shit at that time and not get in trouble, and he fucking had killed people. Like,
from what we learned from the NFL, apparently you could rape 2 people and then play in the Super Bowl. So you could kill a whole bunch of dogs, go to prison for 1.5 years for racketeering, and then come back and start.
Hey, Vic did his time. Vic
didn't do a day for animal cruelty. That's the thing with that story, by the way. Didn't serve a day on animal cruelty. It was only racketeering. That's it. So he didn't do shit.
There's another.
Man, you guys are
big
getting
one
serious.
too.
All right. Oh, whoa. Let's.
Well, I mean, we are we did joke about Aaron Hernandez's suicide a great deal.
I know.
So,
It's just lots of serious tones being thrown around here. But on a serious tone, I got to take a shit, and we have reached our limit.
well, fuck.
Well, I could go. You guys can keep going, but.
Well, let Tony end off with a shot like where he wants most people to.
He's thinking,
go.
you fuckwad. These people are gonna think I'm Tony.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Steve Tony Hofstetter, and I
direct them to where you need to go. Direct the people where you want them to go.
First link in the description of everything we got.
Kyle,
we're just gonna spam the description with all his links. We're gonna have his Bumble link, his Facebook, his YouTube, everything.
If you guys want to just Google Tony, you'll find
me.
Yeah, you'll find some other people named Tony. You'll find that crackhead.
Hey, he's a good guy though.
You could he's a really sweet crackhead actually. You could look up just go to my YouTube. And come see me live. I'm touring, like I said, I'm touring in over 150 cities. So I will be coming to you soon. Check out the tickets on my website, stevehofstetter.com, not Tony. I need to buy nottony.com now if it's available.
Ooh.
We own juicyfarts.com.
Yes, we do.
What? You guys, I was wondering, I tried to buy that and someone already had it.
Yep.
I was like, who are the assholes who got this first? Pun intended. You guys were a ton of fun. Thanks for having me on this show. And fuck Fat Jew, fuck Jerry, which sounds weird. And Aaron Hernandez deserved to die.